Hey, what's going on, everybody? For today's video, I do want to start off saying that my Christmas gift of this comfy here was life-changing. I'm not gonna lie, I've been using this a lot. Well, I don't want to say a lot more than I thought I would, because basically as soon as I looked at it, I knew I was going to be wearing this thing a lot. And oh my gosh, this thing it's comfy. It really is. But you'll probably see me wearing it in future videos as well when I'm just sitting here talking, because oh my gosh, this thing's nice. But regardless, I just wanted to wish everybody a happy new year, and I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about New Year's resolutions. And what I mean by that is, I think this, like, for me personally, I really haven't, but I think this is one of the first years where I'm not making any New Year's resolutions, because I'm one of those people, and I think most people are, just one of those people that will, you'll be like, oh, I'm gonna exercise more, I'm gonna eat better, I'm gonna, do this, and this, and maybe you'll do it for like a week, 2 weeks, whatever, and then it just usually completely just falls apart. You either, like for me, like again, like exercising more. So I go out, you exercise for like a week or two, you just start feeling better. So you're like, I don't really need to exercise nearly as much, and you kind of fall out of that routine, and just, it falls apart. It really does. So I think for me, this is one of those years where I'm not doing a New Year's resolution. I really haven't been, like I said, but at the same time, it's sort of one of those things where you're like, maybe I should try to do a little better here, and here. But it just usually never works out. What I want you to do for a moment is, of course, a car goes by, but what I want you to do for a moment is sit there, and maybe New Year's resolutions have worked well for you in the past. If that is you, congratulations, you're a lot better than me, and I think a lot of other people. But I want you to sit there and think, because most of us, again, we don't really accomplish anything for New Year's. Just think back a year ago, and just even how much in a year your life has changed. I know for me, a lot of sort of facets of life are completely the same. You wake up, you go to work, you do certain things the same way, and day after day passes, but then so much in the grand scheme of things changes. And what I mean by that for me is, it has been, tomorrow will be a full year that I opened up my business, and I had no expectations going into it of just sort of, because you really don't know, opening up a business, where you're gonna go, how it's gonna go. It really is just a total shot in the dark, and just a total, what's gonna happen is what's gonna happen. So for me, I opened my doors, and in a year, like, a lot has changed. And it's a year that in my opinion, there's no amount of New Year's resolutions that would have, changed anything. I could have sat there and tried to hold myself to this, every month I'm going to do this, and, but in reality, at least for me, change is going to happen whether you want it to or not. And it might be good, it might be bad, but looking back, there's nothing. If you talked to me a year ago, at the start of 23, and you're saying, hey, you're going to open a business in a couple of days. Um, is there any kind of, expectations, or is there any kind of goals or New Year's resolutions? And I don't think any of that would have changed anything. I really don't. Um, so, like I said, I think sort of change it's going to happen. Now, don't get me wrong. You absolutely can sit there and, like, for exercise or there's a lot of personal growth things that you can do that will absolutely help you. But I guess sort of the point of this video is I see so many people like just don't take yourself too seriously. Don't put yourself to this like such a high standard that you can't possibly fulfill those needs. I see it too often where you set these crazy New Year's resolutions, and then you overwhelm yourself. You just stretch yourself too thin, and it becomes such a just a burden. It becomes such a problem that now you actually, like I said, you sort of regress. You sort of, you want to, like, exercise, for example. It's a great New Year's resolution, absolutely. But if you just, I just see it way too often where people they put themselves in such a position that they, and then they end up not wanting to ever exercise again, or they're like, wow, this is way too much with my schedule. You should take things in like baby steps for change. And I think some people with New Year's resolutions just sort of throw that and crank it up to 100 and expect this massive amount of change. And in reality, there's no way you could accomplish that. I think for me, like, again, change should be this sort of smaller, we're going to do little things to change. And in my opinion, that shouldn't be like, oh, January 1st, I'm going to start these changes. It should be just something that at any point in time, you should start, You probably, myself included, don't get me wrong, but it's one of those things where don't let a date define that sort of change that you're looking for. Just start. Just start now. And, if it does line up with the new year, then great. But if not, then whenever you're ready, start that journey. I feel like, again, people say, oh, January 1st, I have to change now. I have to, do all these crazy drastic changes. And I feel like that's why it sort of doesn't work out for people. Just take it slow. Don't let a date sort of define that. And I think you'll be all right. For exercise, I use that as the example because that's like typically the number one, New Year's resolution. Don't go from, December 31st, you haven't exercised in months, to, oh, December 1st is here, or January 1st is here, let me go run a 5K. Typically, you're going to overwhelm yourself. You're going to stretch yourself way too thin, and you're never going to, you'll just never want to work out again. So whatever your goal is, whatever it is for New Year's, great. If you want to start right now, go for it. But I would say wait till you're wait till you're ready. Wait till you want that change. And I would start slow. I think the other problem is people will do like 5 massive New Year's resolutions, and if you aren't currently doing them, thinking like, I would start with 1 and kind of work your way from there. Because, like, if let's say you want, like, oh, I want to exercise more, I want to, eat less and diet better, I want to read a book every day, or like, if you're not already doing those things, doing this massive overhaul on January 1st, it's just not going to work for you. So I'd say start with one and then kind of go from there. But I'm just more of the person. There's nothing wrong with New Year's resolutions, but just sort of I think it's just one of those things where life's going to happen, whether you want it to or not. So I try not to worry about it too much myself. There's sort of, I also keep harping on, exercise because I should be doing it more myself, but I feel like, I don't know, life is already so complicated and hard. Why make it harder on yourself? Just, like I said, could I have, for me, could I have set some New Year's resolutions last year and maybe be even better than where I'm at? Sure, probably. But my point to all this is I didn't set any New Year's resolutions, and things went far greater than I could have expected. For this year, I'm not setting any New Year's resolutions, and I have no idea where I'll end up in a year, but or just even some of the things I'll be discussing in a year. But I know life is going to happen, life's going to keep moving forward, and change is going to happen whether I want it to or not. For me, like some of the things on the horizon, I'm sitting here, beginning of the year, and the me that is talking to you at the end of this year is probably going to be in a very different position. There's talks of, there's talks of my home getting sold and moving to a new place. Like for my shop, there's talks of either moving. We have like one big unit. It's like a retail space and then like a big warehouse. But I'm kind of filling up my retail side. So one of the talks is just, making the garage space, making it look pretty and filling it up and moving next door. There's also talks of, because I'm kind of in like this sort of, it's a business park, and it's great for right now, for me just getting off the ground, getting clientele, cheap rent. It's great for now. But eventually I want to get to a place where, for me, there's Route 13. It's a just massive highway that all the shops are on, and it's perfect highway road front. There's even discussions about potentially in the near future sorry, there's all kinds of little noises that go on throughout the house. I got people watching videos and whatnot. But there's talks of potentially just straight up moving to a new location. And right now, there's no amount. Like I said, I don't want to put, and I want you to, everyone's different, but don't put pressure on yourself to do these kinds of changes, and when change is going to happen for you, kind of thing. Like I said, I'm not setting any kind of New Year's resolutions, and yet by the end of this year, if I'm doing a end of the year video, like I said, I'll probably be in a significantly different spot than I currently am sitting here, and that's a good thing. Change is good, but just don't put any kind of crazy pressure on yourself or do anything dramatic to make that happen, because like I said, it's gonna happen. That's just sort of my whole thing. I see all these people like, oh, New Year's this and New Year's that, and it just kind of drives me crazy over time. Just seeing all of it. But I guess that'll be it for today's video. If you have any thoughts, share them in the comments below. And any future video ideas, let me know. And I guess I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.